वेलकम टू दी अंजलि अरोरा टॉक शो। स्वागत है आप सबका द अंजलि अरोरा टॉक शो में। फ्रेंड्स, बहुत सारे कहते हैं ना, एक महीने के गैप के बाद फिर से मैं आपके सामने हाजिर हूँ। जैसे कि आप जानते हैं कि थोड़ा बहुत प्रोजेक्ट वगैरह चल रहे थे मेरे, तो फिर से आपके सामने हाजिर हूँ मैं एक नए पैशनेट गेस्ट को लेके, जिनका नाम है शिल्पा दलाल। जी हाँ, शिल्पा दलाल जी जो एक बहुत ही एक्सपीरियंस और पैशनेट आर्टिस्ट है। तो चलिए देखते हैं उनकी शो रील और फिर करेंगे उनका स्वागत। वेलकम टू दी अंजलि अरोरा टॉक शो। शिल्पा जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
मैम, आपके बारे में जरूर हम जानते ही हैं, जिस तरह के आप आर्ट वर्क करते हैं वगैरह, मगर जो हमारी ऑडियंस है वो जरूर जानना चाहेगी। तो मैं आपको जरूर बताना चाहूंगी कि जो हमारी शो का टैग लाइन है, दैट इज शेयरिंग द पैशन जर्नी। सो हाउ यू विल डिफाइन पैशन? व्हाट इज पैशन अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
So for me, doing any kind of creative work is passion. But really, it is finding a challenge, something I've not done before, something that will challenge me, that I am very passionate about. That when I start doing something that I've not done before, it's like there's a fire burning in me to do it. Yeah.
Means the art is passion for you, is it?
Art is passion for me, 100%.
How it started? From the childhood, you were like favorite of the drawing teacher or some story like that?
Yeah, I was good in art. So my art teacher told me that you should pursue art. And I said, no, I want to be a doctor, so I will pursue science. But that didn't happen. It didn't work out. I eventually pursued art. I did commercial art at Nirmala Niketan. And I didn't really work after that because I got married at a very young age. And my husband's job was traveling from one country to another. So there was no point taking up a job. So I just dabbled in something or the other in some artwork. Now, my mother has been doing art her whole life, a crochet or anything, any kind of arts and crafts her whole life. So I've been brought up with seeing somebody do something in the house all the time. So that was part of me, and I just carried on doing some kind of artwork at home. So it started off with stained glass painting, then one thing after the other. Children were born. I didn't do anything for a few years, and then I thought, my God, I'm singing nursery rhymes while I'm having a shower. I have to do something for myself. And I started with some kind of craft work, something or the other. I started learning I was living in London at that time, so I did a course in stained glass. And so I started doing stained glass on my dining table, cutting glass, putting copper foil, fusing it. And I started painting again. And I would send my works from there, from London to Bombay and to some art gallery here, and they would sell it. And so between stained glass and painting, it was one thing or the other I was doing. Then we moved to Antwerp. Then Antwerp again, I had to restart. But that was the first place that I had a little room that I could work from, like that was my studio.
Yeah.
And from stained glass, I went on to doing glass mosaic. There was a friend of mine who said, show me how to cut glass and let's do it in a mosaic form rather than the copper foil.
Yeah.
So I started with that, and painting, stained glass, mosaic and painting. Then we got transferred to Bombay. So it was starting all over again. And glass was not available here.
I will interrupt you here to ask, like many times it happens when we are kids, when we are doing art and all for our family, it's a time, but it's like a hobby. While thinking of going to a art college, how your parents supported you? How was their reaction about it? Being a doctor, then artist?
Well, they were quite happy with that because they didn't want me to be struggling. My father was a doctor, grandfather was a doctor, but my father didn't want me struggling my whole life as a doctor and working so hard. He wanted me to have an easy life.
Achha.
So, but my passion has always been to even help people, to do something where I can help someone. So anyway, so this has been my journey so far.
Okay. So like when you started, as you said, you started with your friend. So how was the reaction of the, art buyers, how they were finding the work?
Oh, they were very happy. They loved it. At that time, I was just making things for myself, not really selling it, because I'm not able to sell. I'm not able to publicize my work. I'm not able to do that. That's not my forte. My forte isn't doing the work. I would be very happy if somebody else just took over and said, okay, we will sell your work for you.
Right.
I can't do that. So first I was just doing it for my own home, but people started liking it. When I moved to Bombay, I thought, let me approach a shop. That was also, I was a little nervous. I'd never done that before, but they loved it. They loved the work, and I started doing a lot of mosaic and selling through shops. And I would go through phases. So I would just do mosaic. Then I would have a phase where I would just do painting. Then I would do painting. I started watercolors. I went all over Bombay, sitting down on a little foldable chair and painting in front of me.
Oh.
Then my mother told me, she said, that would look so nice in a form of a book, So I said, okay, let me think about it. And then somehow managed to find a publisher, and we put it in the form of a book, which is called Bombay, Watercolours by Shilpa Dalal. So that was in 2000. Yeah, in the year 2000, so 22 years ago.
Okay. But then also like, when, as you said, when you shifted and you started with the artwork and all, there might be a time when you think, जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि you are not able to market yourself, brand yourself. This is, I think, so the problem is with many artists. They are good at art, but they are not good at marketing themselves, branding themselves.
That's right.
What you will give advice to them, like, as an artist, when they approach someone? So what challenges you have faced regarding the same?
Well, it's always that thing of, you like your work, but you're not sure how much somebody else likes it. And
Right.
You are not sure how much somebody is willing to pay for it. And so you always undersell yourself. So that is something that one does have, and one works through at each time. It's just having confidence in your work. But I also feel that if you overprice yourself too much right from the very beginning, like that doesn't work, at least it doesn't work. I feel that it doesn't work. I feel that it's nicer to go at a slightly lower rate than you would feel, but it's a nice feeling when your work is appreciated and sold. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, true. Means without judging the price, they are just loving your art first.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, what are your plans? Like, as you said, you started with the mosaic on glass. So, you want to give any tips to the audience, to the artists who are watching our show? Any special technique you use?
For a mosaic?
Yeah.
Well, it's just that I've been cutting glass since I think 28, 29 years. So that's it's just experience. And whatever you do, I feel you have to persist in it. And most importantly, for any artist, you have to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy something, don't do it. If you enjoy it, if you love it, it will show in your work. You can't do anything by the thought of, oh, this is what I want to sell. When you start working for your own self. Then at some point, people will appreciate it. Somebody will say, I want to buy it, or you have enough to have an exhibition. That's different. But you work for yourself so that it gives you pleasure. And that pleasure will show in your work.
Right. So, ma'am, how you find the difference between the exhibition? You have done the exhibitions abroad also, in India also. What is the difference you have found out?
Well, people abroad, they are very fascinated by things that we do by hand. Here in India, people are not, they think doing by hand is okay, it's not a great deal, not a big deal. But abroad, people are, they're very appreciative of work done by hand. They think it's a great skill that you do that.
Right.
So that's the difference I found in the audience between there and here.
It will see the example, like olden days when we were cooking without any machines and all that. I will say the difference is same difference we can find in the taste.
That's right.
On the canvas,
That's the same thing, exactly.
So do you mean that in India we are not appreciating art much?
No. I don't mean it that way. We are appreciating art. We are now getting into the understanding that art has value. But the same thing you can sell the same piece that you sell here. You can sell it for a more expensive price abroad because it has the fact that you've done it by hand has more value there.
They are ready to pay for that, right?
Yeah.
So, ma'am, what do you feel like? Many as a profession, if we join now as an art in a fine art college and all, if any student, if any artist want to pursue this art as a passion or profession, so do you think it is easy for them to survive?
No, it isn't. Not unless you're able to market yourself. Not unless you're able to market yourself. And the thing is, it changes the vibe in your painting. If you paint because you want to sell it and you want money out of it, it changes how you are actually approaching your work. And when you just paint for the joy of it, it produces a different kind of work. So it's very hard for people who are saying, okay, I want to just do this, do fine art as a profession from the beginning. I think it's very difficult. If you're working somewhere and then you do this as a hobby and you enjoy it and then it takes up something, it's different. Even mosaic is glass, cutting glass is very, very expensive as a hobby. I started off with chota mota glasses, chota mota pieces, simple cutters. And I was using a hand grinder for years.
Okay.
Eventually, very difficult, and with a small child in the house, 2 small children in the house, walking bare feet on carpets, I had to be so careful that not even a speck of glass fell on the carpet. They're fully carpeted houses abroad. I had to really make sure. Later on, after many years, I was able to afford to get a machine grinder. And then that takes 100 times it's faster.
True.
So these are expensive, but slowly over the years, I have built up all my set, my brushes, my glass, my tools that I need for mosaic. It's over the years. So even if somebody says, teach me mosaic now, I'll say, I'll teach you. But to buy your art materials, it's expensive, and you need a place to store it.
True.
And a place to work. So if you have all of that, yeah, then go ahead and learn,
And the outlook of when we see at the mosaic painting, it's nice. It gives a quite different impression when we see it.
Yes, yeah.
I've seen your paintings, many paintings, like it is having a different touch. It
Thank
shows
you.
that experience speaks for itself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, what are your plans? Like, are you okay with learning more techniques and all? Sometimes artists feel that now I know everything. So
No, you never know everything. See, art is something, it breaks your inhibitions inside, So if you keep producing the same thing, you are not really breaking through the inhibitions that are inside. So when you do something new and challenging, you break free from it, because every time you have a blank canvas in front of you, there's a feeling of fear that I hope it turns out good. What if somebody doesn't like it? What if I don't like it? So that judgment we have. So each time you do something new and challenging, it's a breaking free of inhibitions. But I want to actually help people. Like what art has done for me has been extremely therapeutic. Mosaic has been extremely therapeutic. Art itself gives you joy, it bursts forth inside. And I want to take this further in being able to help people to find the same thing in them. So I have actually joined a online course of art therapy. I don't know where that will take me. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'm excited about it.
Actually, listening art therapy, the word itself is exciting.
Yeah, I think it's a new thing that has come up, and I don't know. It's just in the beginning. I'm parts of this module.
They are going to do in this.
Sorry?
What exactly they are going to do in this?
So I think you can help people who have an actual illness, even depression and things like that, to get out of it.
Okay.
And I would love to be able to do. So I have also been on a spiritual path for since 2004, and I've done quite a few spiritual paintings also, paintings that visions of things that you see inside. I have a guru, he's an Australian guru, and he paints as well. So I've done a lot of those kind of paintings as well. And now I feel I've come to a point where I would like to help people with art. And through art, So
it's very nice, like, when we are working for something, it is like we just want to be forward at all. But the thing you are speaking about is like you want to take people with you.
Yes.
Take in a good journey, actually.
Yes. I mean, what I have felt, I know that, yes, when somebody looks at the same artwork, they should feel that same joy when they look at it, what I felt while doing it. But I want them to experience that joy as well.
True.
And that can only come when you don't look at the financial aspect of it, like, oh, I want to sell it. When you start looking at, oh, I want to sell it, it just,
you want to enjoy and do it, like.
Yes, yeah. It takes away the enjoyment of it altogether.
So daily, how much time you spend with your work? Like, many times I've heard that artists are spending the whole night with their artwork.
Okay, I don't spend the whole night. Earlier, if I was doing mosaic, I would start when the kids were off at school. They would leave before 8, and I would start from 8 o'clock onwards, and I would work And then even when they came back, they had homework, they had their things. I would work whenever I could. Now I have put that I start work in the morning.
Okay.
And by 5 o'clock, I finish. That's it. Then it's tomorrow. I've put that discipline on myself. Then you watch TV, you do other things, but you can't just work nonstop.
To keep a balance between the work and the personal life.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, anything else you want to say to our audience, your friends and family, any message you want to give?
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Whatever you do, enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. That's what I say.
Actually,
Yeah.
And also, I will ask you, okay, many times it happens like for ladies to manage the work, artwork, and everything. When you are newly married, you said you left this job for some years, maybe. How your husband was, like how your husband was okay with your artwork and all.
Yeah, he was okay with it. In
That
fact,
is the support we need the most.
yes, he was okay with it. He was quite, as long as you are happy doing it, he was okay with it. And I would ask him to buy me paper and, watercolor paper or certain brushes or some things I would ask him to buy, and he would go and buy it for me. So that was very helpful. Things that were not available here, he would buy it for me because he traveled a lot. So he was happy with that. That was not a problem. One more thing, you asked me what I would like to tell the audience is that what I have learned in my art is that it's not how long it takes to do an artwork, it is knowing when to stop.
Okay.
And if you say you do one stroke and you've got it in that one stroke, don't fiddle with it. Don't fiddle with it because you feel, nay, I couldn't have got it in one stroke. I have to work for a few hours to get it right. No, you can get it. It happens. It happens sometimes in one stroke. Leave it. And if people ask you, how long did you take to do it? You don't have to tell them it took me half an hour or 10 minutes. Because people want to know, oh, it took me many hours,
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't do that. The most important thing is knowing when to stop. And the other thing is always use best quality art materials, best quality brushes that you can afford to buy, because that does half the work. A good brush will do half the work, the other half is yours to do.
Yeah, true. And when you are selling that work, it will be long lasting for the buyer also.
Yeah. See, even if you're enjoying it, you enjoy it more when you get 2 brushes, 3 brushes, but get the best.
Right.
And then use that till you can, buy another one or another one. But till that time, just use that. Your best quality brushes literally does half the work. You will enjoy your work more. Paper or canvas, whichever you are using, use the best quality that you can afford to buy. It does half the work. You're doing watercolor, you do it on artist paper, and you do it on cartridge paper. It's a world of a difference.
Yeah, true. Actually, the outcome depends on that only.
It depends on that. And then you will say, my God, I didn't even struggle with this. Because the paper and the brush did half the work for you.
Right.
And know when to stop. These are the 2 things I have learned. So if that helps people, that will be great.
Yeah, that's why they said that well begun is half done.
Yeah. Yes.
Apart from art, what is your passion? What do you enjoy to do? Singing, reading? What?
Reading. I enjoy reading. I enjoy reading a good book. It could be fiction, it could be non-fiction, it could be spiritual reading, but I enjoy reading.
Which one is your favorite? Any book you want to name?
Right now, I read a book a few months ago, Where the Crawdads Sing. It's a fabulous book to read. It's Where the Crawdads Sing.
Okay.
I think it's coming out on Netflix. It's fiction.
Okay.
It's fiction. I forget the name of the author, but it's coming out on Netflix in July, I believe, the movie. It's a very, very good book.
I'll be reading. I also
Yeah.
love reading.
Okay, okay. And I also like my spiritual books to read.
So any spiritual principle you're following?
So what my teacher teaches is that you have to raise the energies from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Basically, that's the thing. We're going through the different chakras or different centers to raise the spine, to raise the energy from the base of the spine to the top of the head. And so when we create, when we do any creative work, whether it's writing or painting or anything, we're using the throat center.
Right.
And that is above the diaphragm, above the solar plexus center. So it raises you out of the churning of this world, because this world is all in the solar plexus, sacral and base of the spine, this outer world. So when you go above into the heart and into the throat and into the third eye, these are the aspects that you're using when you create. You're using your third eye to imagine, to visualize, and you're using your throat to bring it forth. So it's basically that, and it's a cult energy that we are dealing with, you know. So and occult knowledge. So it's not knowledge that you can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell, but it's inside. It's more intuitive.
I will say that I love talking to you, and even I think so my audience is going to love it. How you have felt on my show?
Good, good. I mean, like you said, the questions were not given before to prepare. So it was very good. I think it came out well.
Because I believe when the questions are given, the people become more materialistic.
Yeah, yeah.
Natural.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yeah. So I'm actually very happy to have been here, very honored. And I really thank you, Anjali ji, for this opportunity.
My pleasure, ma'am. Totally.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for being on our show.
Thank you.
फ्रेंड्स, ये थी शिल्पा जी, जिन्होंने कहते हैं ना बहुत ही सिंपल वे में काफी कुछ अच्छी अच्छी बातें हमारे साथ शेयर की. एंड इवन उनका जो एक्सपीरियंस है, इट स्पीक्स फॉर इटसेल्फ. एक्चुअली जब आपने इनकी शोरूम में पेंटिंग्स देखी होगी तो काफी अच्छा वर्क है इनका. थैंक यू शिल्पा जी फॉर कमिंग ऑन आवर शो. एंड जैसे कि आपने कहा था, यू शुड नो वेयर टू स्टॉप. तो हमारा भी ये एपिसोड स्टॉप करने का समय हो चुका है. तो चलिए लेती हूँ मैं आपसे विदा. फिर मिलेंगे अगले एपिसोड में किसी और पैशनेट गेस्ट के साथ और करेंगे बातें उनकी जिनकी क्या बात है. तब तक के लिए प्लीज हमारे पेज को और हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब और फॉलो करना ना भूलें, ताकि आप अलग अलग अच्छे अच्छे आर्टिस्ट की बहुत सारी कहते हैं ना पैशनेट जर्नी सुनते रहेंगे यहीं पर. चलिए जाती हूँ मैं, फिर मिलेंगे. बाय बाय.